Confession time, I actually haven't really used my gimbal as much as I should because of ease of use and portability. That's until I got this bad boy here, the Weebill S by ZHIYUN. This little bad boy here packs a 14-hour battery life and comes in at a price tag of $399. Excited to tell you more about it. Stay tuned. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the cool features that this bad boy packs. Unlike most gimbals, gimbal tuning can now be done on the gimbal itself. It does have a mobile app that works with it, but mobile app is optional. There's boatloads of accessories that you can buy for it, like a transmission module. This transmission module allows you to transmit its signal to a monitor or another device, but also to connect with your smartphone for smarter features. You do get to use the smartphone with the app, but you don't get those advanced features that you get with the transmission module. This transmission module will be directly mounted under the quick release plate. One of the features that I want to really test out is this smart follow feature. While using your smartphone, you can draw a square around the subject and the gimbal will actually track your subject from there. So if you had it mounted on a tripod, it's almost like you have a second cameraman with you. You can transmit to a smartphone or iPad or monitor with the receiver module. The transmission is cool because it can be used by most cameras, like the A7 III. I've got to show you guys this feature using the mobile app called Sync Motion. What you do is you launch the ZHIYUN app, you connect to your Weebill S, you tap on the menu's icon here, hit Sync Motion, you hit the on button, and look at this voodoo that takes place here. I turn it that way, I turn it this way, I look up, I look down. Isn't that crazy? That's Sync Motion. Pretty cool feature. Bam! Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Come back. My favorite accessory is this quick release plate right here. What you can do is you could actually pull down and that clip comes off there. What's unique about the Weebill S is that you can film in the samurai sword mode like this, or you can quick release, pull that off, pop it on top here, and you can shoot in undersling mode. And that's actually a really comfortable way to get those low to the ground shots. Let me show you some of the cool things about this gimbal real quick. So, like I said, there's that quick release plate that you can purchase additionally, and I can just pop on and off. Otherwise, you could screw this on and off. This works as a tripod or a grip. But look how compact that is. That can fit into any bag. Really, that's compact, and that's all you need for your gimbal. Let's pop this back on here. I'm gonna show you how to balance it. So I'm gonna pop my tripod legs out, put it back down. Next, there's actually 3 locks on here. You have 1, 2, and 3. What that does is it locks the axes so that when you travel with it, they're not swinging around. Hopefully it's protecting it more while it's in transit. Next, I'm going to unlock 1, 2, and 3 axes. I love this sticker here that says this side up. It's kind of silly, but it's actually really helpful to have. The next thing you do is you press and hold the power button, turns on. You'll see the gimbal straight in here. When it turns on, there it is. And I'm ready to go. Look how quick that is. I'm gonna go shoot, boom, boom, boom. Next, I'm going to pop this on top because I need to go underslung mode, and I'm gonna shoot some stuff this way, boom, boom, boom. Then I'm going to switch back to samurai mode. I don't know what mode that's called. I call it samurai mode. And boom, 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 bam. How cool is that? How quick is that? And that's the thing about the gimbal is that I needed something that would be simple to set up, quick and easy, lightweight, let me mention that, and not a pain, because I think most people can attest that if a gimbal is too complicated, you're not going to use it, right? Now, I'm not sure what the Payload Max is on this gimbal, but I hear that it's pretty big. People are shooting with 24-70 G Master lenses that are pretty heavy on their large setups, and this gimbal can handle those large payloads. So speaking of using long and heavy lenses with this setup, I have heard that if people have long lenses, what you want to do is adjust the lens zoom to go halfway and then balance it. That way there gives less strain on the motor. Now keep in mind, if you are using a large lens setup or a heavy setup on this, the Weebill can handle it. It's just gonna cut back on the battery life because the motor torque is going to be doing more of the work there. All right, let's test out the weight of my camera with the larger lens. We are looking at 1461 grams, which ends up being 3.2 pounds. So that's a pretty decent payload to carry around with you. And the Weebill S can handle that. That's a 3 pounds. Let's see how much the gimbal weighs. about 1101 grams, so about 2.5 pounds. So you got 2.5 plus 3.5, you got 5, you got about 6 pounds here in your hand with this gimbal. I believe the Weebill S is a predecessor to a previous model. It has a 300% motor torque increase, which means the motor in this is not a wee little bill. It's a Weebill S. It's really powerful. Using the back controls or the mobile app, you can also adjust the speeds of the pan and the tilt with these controls right here. I want to brag again about the hardware here. You can lock it on all 3 axes and has a nice build quality, and the form factor really does allow it to fit into most backpacks without taking up too much space. Another great feature about this gimbal is there's enough clearance in the back here so you can get your flip out screen game on. There are some awesome shooting samples. Let me show you here. You could access that from the mobile app here by tapping this button that looks like the axes, and you can switch on between PF, FL, phone, go, POV, and vortex mode. By swapping the grip here, you can shoot in briefcase mode or underslung mode, and that allows you to move it very low, very smooth as a briefcase. It's so cool because if your hands get tired, you switch to that style. Full range POV is that it'll follow you around just like that. By the click of the controls, you can then switch to vortex mode, and what this does is it allows you to go very futuristic, gives it this rotating angle mode where everything's twisting around you. It's very cinematic mode. It's a very cool cinematic move that you may have seen in popular Hollywood movies. Mode Go, it's very quick. It goes with you wherever you turn the gimbal, and it turns very sharply. PF mode is the slower version of Go mode. PF mode will move slowly. F mode points to wherever you want it to and move slowly through that transition. Lock mode is that it'll lock the camera in place. All right, you can't talk about the pros without talking about the cons. Some of the cons that I experienced here, unfortunately, if you're not a fan of this gimbal, you will be now, because there really aren't any cons that held me back. The first con is the case that it comes in is this foam case. That's not really a case, it's more like a packaging unit, and you can't really use it. But do you really need to when this thing can fit compactly in your carrying case? And also the setback is unscrewing this and screwing this back onto the top. That is a pain. However, that can be resolved with a quick release plate, and I love that. So the cons really aren't cons, but if those things are what's holding you back, I think the pros outweigh the cons here. I didn't really use my gimbal much before because the setup process was kind of a pain, is that I had to balance all the axes, make sure everything was working correctly, and then go. You just saw, this is a pretty run and gun gimbal, and it's pretty awesome. The build quality is nice. The mixture of the metal and the plastics in this helps make it lightweight and durable, and I really love that about this gimbal. Yeah, as I mentioned before, when I didn't really use my gimbal before, it caused me not to want to make videos with my gimbal, therefore made me feel like I was just wasting money by having a gimbal collecting dust. So glad that the Weebill S is here. And if you're on the fence of which gimbal to get, it's comparable in price to its competitors, and the big thing is it can handle a pretty large payload. So with the strengths that outweigh the cons, with Weebill, I'm gonna rank this as one of 2019's best gimbals. Definitely something that I think you should have in your quiver, but I'd love to know your thoughts of what you guys think. What are your favorite gimbals? Are you interested in the Weebill S or any of the other gimbals that ZHIYUN produces? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks to all that subscribed so far, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be good out there. Peace.